Yes, let me start. Well, you guys might be wondering why I'm here with a shield and a blade. Well, no surprise, we are all at the battlefield. A very good evening, sorry, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. So I welcome you all to the 99th session of Vellore Toastmasters Club. And if you all just take a moment and think, war is everywhere. Yes, last year we all fought against Corona, and this year we are all fighting against Omicron, and we don't know really what we are going to face in our future. But there is one thing common in each and every war. Yes, there will be always a peace of mind will come after the end of the war. So today at VTC, we are going to face one of the greatest wars in the history of the world. And I believe there will be a peace of mind will fill with every one of us after this session. Interested? Let's get started. And before diving into the session, there are few ground rules that are to be followed during this meeting. So the first thing is that please do keep your mobile phones off or put them on silent mode. And secondly, please refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. And thirdly, please do keep your mics muted unless you come on stage. And fourth, please do keep your cameras on so that we can witness your beautiful smile. So here, I would like to tell the mission of Toastmasters Club. So the mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience through which members develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And guys, what are we waiting for? So without further ado, I would like to call the most powerful person in the meeting, indeed the most powerful person in the battlefield, our president, Toastmaster Saumini. Over to you.
Ni hao, comrades. Let me officially declare open VTC 99. Good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. I don't know where everyone is placed at, but it is a very boring day in Vellore as we have no place to go and as it is a full lockdown here on Sunday. But thanks to our sessions placed at 4:30 p.m. on Sundays to pull us out of the boredom. Now, you might have noticed the number of this session, 99. VTC is 99, not out. And so this has to be the most exciting session of all, while the drums are rolling in anticipation while we hit a century. Speaking of centuries, one thing that always gets us all excited is when someone starts centuries ago. Because we all love stories, and today's session is not going to see any scarcity in them. I'm so proud and excited to call upon Toastmaster Ashwin, who will be playing his first time TMOD, that too with such an exciting theme, the Warring States period. So grab your seats as he takes us through a ride through rich history. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Brave generals, soldiers, and citizens of Quinn, it is I, Wang Jin, the supreme commander of the Quinn Army, here today to discuss some matters of vital importance with you. As you all know, the various states have been locked in a battle that spanned over 250 years. Many kingdoms have risen and fallen during this period, leading to the next generation of kings and generals to fight for supremacy. Eventually, 7 powerful states emerged from this endless cycle of warfare. Our beloved motherland Quinn, the Zhao, the Chu, the Wei, the Han, the Kui, and the Yang. This era, called by many as the Warring State period, has led to these lands to be characterized by constant warfare and bloodshed between these 7 states. But this has gone for far too long. The lands yearn for peace and prosperity, and it shall be the Quinn dynasty that answers to the desperate calls of these lands. For a long time, many kings have racked their brains to find a solution to the never-ending war that plagued our lands. But finally, our noble king, Ying Sang, the 31st emperor of the Qin dynasty, has found a solution to the problem. The only way to prevent war if there is no enemy to fight. And the only way to do that is by unification of these people and these lands. He will be the one take take up the enormous task of unification of these lands into one. His goal is to unify all of China and become the emperor of the new nation, and with it, delete all the states, including Qin, and its borders, and mainly the war, and in effect, bring an end to the warring states period. And we, his army, will be acting as a sword that implements his wishes. Such are the noble intentions of our emperor. Before I go ahead and introduce the important members of the Royal Council, for the sake of our citizens, let me explain how the session is going to be carried out. The session consists of three parts. The first is a prepared speech given by our speakers, followed by the table topic speeches where the guest and the fellow members of our club can take part in. And finally, the evaluation provided by the general evaluator. To carry out His Majesty's wishes, I have entrusted my son, the great General Wang Bang, to come up with a core team that deals with the problems that comes with such a huge undertaking. His responsibility is to report every single achievement and issue that arises during this operation and provide a solution to it with the help of his team. Over to you, General Wang Bang, aka TM Darshni.
Thank you, Wang Jin. Greetings. Welcome to the state of Qin. I, Wang Ben, the General of Qin, am here following my father's footstep. The great general always sends footpaths to unite the motherland. I take great pride in being a commander for our army. For the benefit of those visiting from other states, Qin consists of three segments: the prepared speeches, the table topics, and the evaluation. Being the general of Qin, I shall take over the evaluations with my trio, aka tag team. My trio consists of a strategist, a chancellor, and a legalist. Let me call upon them to introduce themselves. Firstly, let me call upon the strategist, Lord Changpin, aka Mahalakshmi.
Thank you, Wang Ben. I'm audible? I'm audible to everyone?
Yes,
You're
ma'am,
audible. I'm audible to everyone?
Yeah.
Confirm it.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you, Wang Ben. A very, very happy, tick moment to our fellow Toastmasters and our guests. The two most powerful warriors are patience and strength, said by Leo Tolstoy and War and Peace. My name is Lord Changping, alias Timer. The success of the war is determined not only by the best warriors, it depends upon what strategy to be used and when. Here, I would like to remember you one example from Mahabharata, how Jayadratha was killed by Krishna with the help of Krishna's strategy. And I also known by the best strategist within the Qin and China. In this battle, I'm going to implement three strategies, that is green, yellow, and red. For our guest understanding, dear timer, I will give time to a formal speech, table topics, and evaluations. For a formal speech, the time limit should be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise yellow card. And 7 minutes, I will show red card. For evaluations, the time limit should not be extended more than 3 minutes. For table topic speaker, the time limit is sliced between 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will give my green card. At 1.1 minute 30 seconds, I will show my yellow card. And 2 minutes, I will raise my red card. I will give my report when I call upon during the meeting. And thank you. Over to you, the general, the great general.
Thank you, Lord Changwin. Secondly, let me call upon the Chancellor, Lord Changwin, aka Bharat.
Thank you, General. Hello, everyone. I'm Lord Chengwen, the former little man. Well, you know what? I'm very loyal to my king. Yes, I will do anything and everything for my king to get succeed. And I'm very skilled with my blade. And you know what? Today is very special because I'm not going to help only my king to get succeed, but I'm going to help each and every one of you to get succeed. Yes, like this blade, I'm going to sharply note out each and every R's, M's, ers, and the repeated usage of words in your speeches. And I will present my report at the end of all your speeches. So every one of you, be careful with my blade. Over to the gentleman.
Thank you, Lord Changwin. Third, let me call upon the legalist, Lishi, aka Sadhana.
Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. A delightful evening to DMOD of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay attention to all the speaker and listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. Okay, and now it's time for me to introduce the word of the day. Today's word of the day is combatant, which means, okay, let me repeat it again, combatant, which means a person or a nation engaged in fighting during a war. An example for use of the word is all the combatant armies went to war with machine guns. All the combatant armies went to war with machine guns. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting and also report on use of the word of the day. Over to the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Lishi. I, Wang Ben, General of Quinn, shall submit the report towards the end when called upon by Wang Jin. Over to Wang Jin.
What a lineup. To win your war, you must utilize strategy, tactics, and propaganda. Be prepared to be surprised and plan to surprise your enemy. Keep your energy and enthusiasm high. Don't get dejected due to temporary setbacks and failures. Who else better to handle these issues of war than the best strategist of Quinn, the legalist to deal with the aftermath of war, and the chancellor of Quinn to boost the morale of the army, along with General Wang Bang as their commander. But even so, the task at hand proves to be a challenging one. Since none of the states wanted any one rival to become too powerful, the others would join force against it, so that none of them achieved true dominance. This unspoken pact between the seven states has what led to nearly 250 years of warfare that only grew larger and larger in scale. And now history repeats itself again. The Zhao have found out about our intentions and have built alliance with the other five states. According to my reports, a coalition army of 540,000 soldiers, that's right, 540,000 soldiers are currently marching towards our capital city of Kanun. The strategists figured that the best way to defend our country was to abandon all posts and gather as many troops as possible at the only path that leads to the capital city. Quinn's finest generals have been gathered and stationed with their armies to form a defensive force around the path. If enemies succeed in reaching our capital city, it could very well mean the end of the Quinn dynasty. The mastermind of the coalition army was none other than Li Mu, the prime minister of the Zhao state, a humble and a kind person to those around him, who neither cares for fame nor glory, but as a strategist though, he is known to be a ruthless to his enemies and willing to utilize so-called underhand methods for victory. He is single-handedly the biggest threat to Quinn in their conquest of unification. But do not fret, I have expected this much from Levo, or else it wouldn't have been a fair battle. As a contingency plan, I had one of my men, a spy by the name of Heki, and veteran combatant, infiltrate the state of Zhao and steal the classified plans of Levo. Heki is a very loyal soldier of Quinn, whose skill is unmatched when it comes to infiltrating the enemy's camp. Over to you, Commander Heki, aka TM Saumani.
Thank you, Wang Xian. Toastmaster India, Li Mu today. The Prime Minister of Zhao State is told to be a master strategist. And as her evaluator and Heki today, it is my duty to decode her plans and present it as a report. Toastmaster India is on the pathway Innovative Planning Level 2 Project 2 named Connect with Your Audience. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. All the best to Toastmaster India. Over to you, Wang Xian.
Toastmaster India, can you please do an audio and video check?
Am I audible and visible? Is there any breakage in my voice? If so, let me
No. Toastmaster India, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay, Toastmaster India.
Your favorite character in this? Sorry, but I don't see the timer cards. Sorry, but-
Timer start.
Will you be sharing the screen?
Yes, ma'am, I will
Oh.
share.
It will be shared when it's the fifth, sixth,
Okay,
and
let me
seventh.
check.
Oh, okay,
Just
okay,
wait.
okay. Cool. Sorry, I didn't know that. I'll start. Shall I start? Did your favorite character in the series that you're watching die? Hashtag depressed. Exams are coming up. Hashtag anxiety overloaded. There's a lot of work to be done before the deadline. Hashtag feel like killing myself. Let's be honest. Isn't this how most of our WhatsApp status look in all the situations that I mentioned above? Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am Inya, and I'm here to cause a small ripple effect about something that I really want to talk about. Serious mental health conditions have become Instagram trends and meme materials. All the famous jokes of our era are based on mental health. This is one side of how we comically handle this issue. On the other hand, let me illustrate a small incident that happened to me in high school to let you all see what the reality is when it comes to handling mental health. It was a lunch break and I was alone in my classroom getting some work done when I heard some screams and commotions from the class next to mine. So I rushed there to see one of my friends from that class sitting in a corner in pain with blood gushing out. Seems like she had slit her wrist with a blade. I immediately tried to bandage the wound, stop the bleeding, and call the teachers for help despite her resistance. She was rushed to the hospital, so she was fine in a couple of days. So after it was all done and dusted, something that I couldn't comprehend and was very hurtful happened. She and her family were actively avoiding me. Every time I went up to her to speak, she acted as if she'd not seen me. So let's reverse the situation a little bit and see what happened, shall we? Let's say that when I went to her classroom, she was suffering from abdomen pain or had fainted from fever. I would take her to the hospital, get her treated, and after she recovered, I would ask her if she was doing fine. And she would reply saying that she had some problems with her physical health and that she was fine after getting treatment and medications. So what was different in the first situation that led her to avoiding me in the fear that I would bring up what happened the other day? The stigma surrounding mental health. They were afraid that I would ask her if she was doing fine or if she wanted someone to talk to. They were afraid that I would acknowledge her attempt as a cry for help. Back then, I wasn't able to understand the stigma and was very hurt. As the daughter of a psychologist, the way that I was brought up with respect to perceiving negative emotions and mental health is very different from what I see my peers do. For example, I was taught that mental health is as important as physical health.
and that I should let out all my emotions of anger, regret, insecurities, or sadness. When I feel upset, I call my best friend or my mother and let out all my emotions. If I feel like crying, I cry, and if I feel like screaming, I scream. A stigma is a negative and unfair attitude attached to a person or a group, placing shame on them for a perceived deficiency or a difference in their existence. Mental health stigma means the societal disapproval, or when the society places shame on people who live with mental illnesses or emotional distress like anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, or PTSDs. This prevents them from coming out and seeking help and living normal, peaceful, happy lives. So when it comes to mental health, we either treat it like a joke, which can be offensive, or we avoid it. We don't acknowledge and accept it. So with a question in my mind as to why people behave like this, I decided to talk to a few professionals. I began with my mother, who is a psychologist. So she is a part of a volunteering free helpline in suicide prevention. And apparently, the people who call do not wish to expose their identity and use pseudonyms or disclose their problems saying it was for a friend. So when I think about what the reason could be, isn't it because we've become too comfortable using terms like dumb, crazy, lunatic, psycho, and such as derogatory terms that we don't even realize that we are placing discrimination upon people who want to come out and seek help? Next, I spoke to a psychiatrist who is a friend, and he told me that there are a lot of patients who suffer from schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, and such, who also go to temples and dargahs to get magic or religious treatment, which means getting religious bans, getting rituals done, or getting splashed with holy water. So they would rather believe that mental illnesses are God sent than that there's actually something wrong with their body, genetics, and mind. They choose to believe in magic and religion than in science and medicine. The reason for this stems back to lack of awareness and desperation caused by not placing equal importance for mental illness and physical illness. So let's say thousands of starfishes were washed to the shore during a heavy floods. What would you do? Would you walk away feeling helpless that you can't possibly help so many of them? Or would you help 5, 10 of them return to the sea and feel like you have brought a change in at least those few? The choice is yours. There are so many people in this world who are living with mental illness but don't have the opportunity to seek help because of the stigma. They do not expect for someone to ascend from the sky and magically solve their issues. They just need one person who can listen to them without any judgment, empathize with them, give them a shoulder to cry or time to vent. Let us try being that one person for someone else in our life. And also reach out if we ever need help. Toastmasters, please keep in mind that the definition of being healthy has always included physical and mental well-being. It is okay to not be okay. Help and seek help. Thank you.
What an amazing speech. I'm pretty sure it's something that needs to be heard and known by everyone, especially at the current time. Let us have a 1 minute break to congratulate and give a personal feedback to TM India. Timer, please let me know when 1 minute is up.
Okay. 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Tamil. That Lee sure had one hell of a plan. Almost made me wish if he was on our side. But not all hope is lost. The key to success in this war is not the annihilation of the enemy, but stalling them for time, as they are stuck deep in our lands with limited food and resources and without backup. Soon, the great coalition army would be nothing more than an army of half-dead soldiers. And as far as we are concerned, with the main battle, we have successfully managed to drive them back. To defeat your enemy, you must first bring their morale down. The people who follow him will start suspecting their leader's capabilities and gradually withdraw their support with the belief that the leader will be defeated. This, they will think that it doesn't make any sense to fight a losing battle. And that is why there's a lot of propaganda during war. It aims to demoralize your enemy. And once the morale is brought down, half the war is won. Now that we have successfully defended ourselves from the coalition army, their morale is at all-time low, making this the perfect opportunity for us to strike. First, we would bring down the state of Zhou, as they prove themselves to be the strongest state among the rest. We have already begun attacking the borders of Zhao state, making our way towards their capital. Our strategists are busy coming up with a plan to overthrow the capital of Zhao, but rest assured, the Zhao will fall to Qin's army. Now we can focus on the state of Chu, the state that has the largest land among the 7 states. For entirety of the Warring States period, the Chu state has never lost its position as a great power in the south. It has an army of 1,000,000 strong and abundant resources. It is a great power with considerable strength among the Basit states. Know the enemy and know yourself. And in 100 of battles, you will never find yourself in peril. Hence, let us find out who our enemy is this time. The only man who possesses the strength to become a threat to our empire is Lord Chunshan. He is a nobleman, a general, a prime minister, and the head of military affairs of the state of Chu. Nothing is known about his past, but it is assumed that he has worked all his way up to the position of the prime minister. For the past 20 years, he has worked so hard to build the state of Chu as a super state. Lord Chunshan is an adaptive leader who has strong tactical knowledge and strategical foresight. It is considered that his political influence and power rivals the king of Chu. It is not a surprise that one of his hobbies is to read books, but he also is known to enjoy poetry and art. The key to win a battle is to keep multiple plans ready to maintain your momentum. If one plan fails, alternative plans must be ready to address the challenges in order to move things forward. That is why I had another spy by the name of Li Xin infiltrate the state of Chu. Extremely hot-headed and brash, but carries a heart of gold that holds an extreme amount of determination. Shin is fiercely loyal to his country, as he is also very headstrong and courageous. Let us now hear from our spy. Over to you, Li Xin, aka TM Kriti.
Thank you, Wang Jing. I'm Li Xin, trusted friend and part of King's Royal Guard. My task is to evaluate Lord Shu Xin, aka Toastmaster Sakshi, on her defense strategies used by her combatant armies and pass it on to Queen. Today, Toastmaster Sakshi will be giving her level 5 project 2 in the pathway leadership and development. The purpose of the project is for the member to apply his or her skills as a public speaker and leader to facilitate a panel discussion. I will evaluate on how well organized and well moderate the panel discussion was, and also will consider how Toastmaster Sakshi sets the tone, keeps the panelists on topic. I will also evaluate on her clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, and comfort level. Today, Toastmaster Sakshi will be playing a 5-minute recording of the panel discussion, which was held before. It was for 20 to 40 minutes. Discussion. Today, she'll just play a recording of 5 minutes. Over to you, Wang Ji.
TM Sakshi, can you please do an audio and video check?
Can anyone confirm if my screen is visible and I'm audible?
Yes.
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 TM Sakshi. The effects of social media in our life. The effects of social media in our life. TM Sakshi.
Sakshi voice is not audible. We can't hear the.
While sharing the screen, you'll have to check the option share sound audio also.
Yeah, let me check that once. I think all of us can agree to you. Is it audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Desh. Now, apart from keeping connected with friends and family, what is that other aspect of social media that you enjoy the most?
Okay. I would like to say here that, okay, I would like to share an experience that happened with my friend. So he is like the first generation from his family who is having a good education. So his dad's been from a rural area and his family belong to a small village. And he is a kind of person who does not gel well because instead of talking about animes, movies, TV shows, and current popularity and fashion, he likes to talk new ideas, innovations, what kind of thesis paper he might publish in. And this kind of topics, I do agree, is not something that a lot of my friends also talk about. So he does find it very hard to make connections and kind of get friends. And I remember that after 12th, he went to Dubai for his studies, and due to COVID pandemic and all, he got stuck there. So when all of his friends, or like few of his friends from his hostel and all, they went back home from across the globe, wherever they came from, he was stuck in a hostel alone with nothing but just Wi-Fi running and no one at all to talk to. But like after I recently met him and then I talked to him about how he passed his phase of life, and he told me that how social media really helped him because from being like an introvert kind of person, online platform was the only source where he could go to. So apart from being connected, he went into a big depression that he was kind of being forced into doing civil engineering from his parents' side, but he wanted to do something else, and his thesis paper was also completely on a different topic. So, and especially when there's no one to talk to about whatever's going on in his life. And then came in Among Us, where he started, talk, having fun, kind of sharing ideas. And that's how he got out of that depression phase. And I believe he is like a very good person and like a good he's in a very good phase in his life that okay, now he's confident that okay, even though he doesn't have so many friends to talk to, he can definitely go past it because he knows what he wants. So I believe apart from being connected, there have been phases across globe where people are in depression or they find it really hard to communicate offline. But online, it has been an advantage because you are not exactly face to face. So typing on chat or just using voice audio is very easy to communicate your thoughts and ideas than meeting the person in real. So that has been definitely one case that has been there.
Thank you for sharing such a positive and inspiring aspect of social media. Who would like to go next?
Adding to what Kashi said, that along with connectivity and the fact that people who are shy to talk in real life feel more comfortable on an online virtual medium, I feel there's the one more thing is that right now as we are progressing, there is actually so much we can learn. We can learn, we can be more socially educated. And in that process, social media plays a very big part because you get to see stories and of how people are misrepresented, undertreated, and mistreated. So you get to see these stories and you look at it and you think that I want to be a better person than this. I don't want to be the cause that someone else feels bad. I don't want to take part in some kind of privilege in my life. So I think social media also helps me to be more educated in that way. I'm not saying there are no other sources. I think of course there are news channel, their apps and stuff, but here it is such direct communication. It's absolutely unfiltered. It is coming from, you know, the primary user who's talking about their experience. So I think social media is advantageous in that.
Thank you, Somatri, for pointing this out. Ritesh, do you have anything to add to this conversation?
One of the most important factors about social media that I feel everyone ignores is how versatile it is. So, regardless of what we're talking about, whether it be video games like Among Us, whether it be social issues like Toastmaster Samudri said, or be it simply some guy or some girl going out places like Pondicherry, Goa, or somewhere and sharing their experiences. No matter what the situation is, social media manages to adapt itself to help the user or the primary user project as to what they're talking about. They can explain how much fun they had playing the video games. They can explain how much fun they had on the trip they went on. Or they can explain how they suffered or how they overcame a situation based on what they experienced. So I guess that is one of the most overlooked aspects of social media, which needs to be more put in the spotlight.
I absolutely agree with you, Ritesh. But one of my next concern is that online social platforms. So that was all from my side. And if any one of you wishes to view the whole 40 to 50-minute discussion, please text me personally. I'll send you the link.
Thank you for that amazing session. Let us have a 1-minute break to congratulate and give a personal feedback to TM Sakshi. Timer, please let me know when 1 minute is up.
One minute is over.
I now hand over the session to VP Education, TM Darshini, to interact with the guests. Over to you, TM Darshini.
Thank you, Toastmasters today. I would like to thank all the visiting Toastmasters and the guests for taking their time out of their schedule and coming to our session and attending our session. We have Toastmaster Shrikant from Chennai Toastmasters Club. We have Toastmaster Sara from Seoul, and we have two visiting Toastmasters, one of them from Toastmaster Inia from Seoul and Toastmaster Sakshi from Terra. And we also have some of our guests like Akshay, Ravi Murthy, and Yuvraj attending this session. Thank you all of the guests and visiting Toastmasters for attending this session. And before handing it over to the TMOD, I would request all of you to turn on your videos for a group picture. Please turn on your videos. Sadhna, could you please turn on your video for a second? Yes, just give it. 1, 2, 3, smile. Yeah, great. Yes. Since this is our 99th session, we do have our milestone session on February 6th. I cordially invite all of you to be a part of that milestone session of VTC. Thank you. Over to the Toastmasters.
Now that we have successfully launched an attack on Zhao and the Chu, all we can do is wait for the news from the front lines. But in the meanwhile, let me share a small anecdote. Many times when I was in battle, I had to react depending on the enemy's attacks and their strategies. The more adaptable I was to their situation, the more trust and faith my soldiers began to place on me. But the only reason I was able to come out unscathed from all these battles was because I was able to develop the ability to organize my thoughts and quickly relay my orders to my men and counter the enemy. That's how I was able to rise up in ranks and stand before you today as the supreme commander of the Queen's Army. And to ensure that all of us develop that ability today, I have asked Meng Tian, a Chinese inventor and military general, to provide us with a challenge for today's table topics round. Over to you, Meng Tian, aka TM Vijay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Ni hao, friends. I am Meng Tian, an inventor and the military general of the great Qin dynasty. Call me opposite side of the same coin. I mean an inventor who destroys, inventing things for my kingdom that could possibly destroy the opponent combatants. And because I love inventing more than destroying, today I'm here with my latest invention. This one is a psychological invention, and it's called the table topics. The invention equips our spies with the ability of impromptu speech in event of them being caught behind the enemy lines. You see, spies should be able to maneuver with their speech. They cannot carry any weapons. Speech is the most potent of the weapon in their arsenals. And please understand, many a times it means life or death to them. Hence, it is mandatory for them to go through table topic trainings. And here we are, the most exciting part of any Toastmasters meeting, the table topics. Friends, although a pathway at the Toastmasters are exclusively designed and structured appropriately to facilitate members with their onward progress at every level. But it's the active participation in the table topic session that gives an edge and a high octane amplification in their communication skills. Table topics are designed to train the participants to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to impromptu speaking skills. So do not hold back yourselves from taking advantage of this opportunity and participate willingly. And to facilitate active participations at the table topic session, the guests are allowed to participate. As your table topic master, I shall give you the comfort and ease to come forward and speak. But how can we do that? Here's how it works. As your table topics master, I shall call about 3 to 5 speakers, upon which I shall provide them with some interesting topics to speak on for about 1 to 2 minutes. The speakers may take up to 30 seconds to gather their thoughts and channel them through their words. I hope you've understood the concept. If not, please unmute now and ask for clarifications. Well, I take that all of you have understood. Can I have my volunteers, please? I have a speaker, Inia, raising her hand.
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank you, Inia. Inia, your topic is, if you were a combat soldier in any army, what would you be and why? Like an archer, infantry, a chariot rider, a horse rider, etc. If you were a combat soldier in any army, what would you be and why?
So that's a very interesting topic. Thank you. I've never tackled a topic like this before, but I would like to try. So personally, I feel like I would choose being a horse rider because I feel like that gives the power of speed over a lot of other things. Like it's not just me, I can also depend on another powerful creature, which is an added advantage in a war field, I think. So it is an added advantage when it comes to escaping, chasing, or attacking. So I can also equip myself with weapons in my hand, sword, bow and arrow and stuff, and also have someone carry me in a great speed. So that is like a double win. So again, that there are a lot of cons as well. Like the case of the horse being attacked, then I would be left alone there stranded. So I should be capable of managing that such a situation. But as long as I am equipped to handle anything that comes my way, I think the most advantageous situation at that time would be to be on top of a horse. And why I said this more than carriages is because carriages slow you down and there's an extra weight that you need to carry with you. But horses, it's not like that. And most of the war horses are trained, right? So they listen to what you say. You can control their reins and you have a lot of control and power at that time. So I think my answer would be going with a horse rider. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Inia. That was a wonderful speech. And didn't you say that you should have never come across such topics? I mean, that's what table topics is supposed to be, right? You're going home a winner today because you could easily maneuver with your words on a topic which you would have never imagined. Congratulations. May I offer you to join the Queen dynasty now? Thank you for speaking. May I have my next volunteer, please? Guests? Yuvraj, would you like to speak? Shrikant, would you like to give a speech?
Definitely, why not?
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Welcome to the Queen dynasty.
Welcome to the Queen dynasty, and I hope that you join us soon.
Yeah, absolutely, I am.
Let me give you a psychological topic. Your topic is, sometimes war becomes inevitable and paves way for better times. Agree or disagree? Sometimes war becomes inevitable and paves way for better times. Agree or disagree?
Thank you very much. I fully agree with that because we have seen 2 world wars happen in our lifetime or in the recent past memory, and both of them have literally ended with liberation of a few countries and settling of some land dispute, border disputes. So what I would say is the first attempt for any nation, any committee of nations to settle things is through dialogue and through the United Nations. And if both of them fail, and if the person or the nation that is not willing to accept the laid down rules by the United Nations, war is the last resort, or even before that, we can have sanctions imposed on that country and make them realize that they have to fall in line. And even still, if they are not falling in line, war has to be waged because dharma needs to be protected. At the cost of bloodshed, we should always be saving innocent life, as what we have learned in the Mahabharata in the Kurukshetra war. So it is within our dharma to execute our moral duty of protecting our motherland or protecting the just reason of any committee of nation or its people. So war is not a no-no to any nation, but it should be the last resort, because without bringing sense into the nation which is transgressing the freedom and the liberty of another sovereign state, war definitely brings them on their knees. And we have seen that in the recent past. And with that, we have seen a lot of things have settled down. But it is a very big price for all of us to pay to have a war or to find a way to settle things through a war. It should always be the last resort. And I always vouch for it because I come from a community which believes Mahabharata is what the Rekha that has been given to us, and we need to follow that. Thank you very much, and back to you, TT Master.
Thank you, Mr. Srikant. I should say you're the Chanakya at the Qin dynasty. As it was revealed by Krishna himself and Arjuna, should we go to war or not? Krishna revealed that it is your dharma to do it. War is never the answer, but sometimes it becomes inevitable. R.T.O. Modi explains us today how the waging war period paved way for a unified, strong China, which is today. Let me tell it again, war is never the answer, but sometimes it becomes inevitable. Thank you. May I have my next volunteer, please? War becomes inevitable, will be justified in the next topic. Sakshi, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Welcome aboard the Qin dynasty. Sakshi, your topic is, in the entire history of India, which is of thousands of years, India hasn't invaded any country. Do you think this is the reason why it was easy for invaders to rule us? First, the Mughals, and later, the Britishers. Let me repeat. In the entire history of India, which runs for thousands of years, India hasn't invaded any country. You think this is the underlying reasons for invaders to rule it? First, the Mughals, later, the Britishers.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the topic. Now, before I begin, I would like to quote something which John Kennedy has already stated. It is that it is an unfortunate fact that we have to secure peace by only preparing for war. Now, if I look into this quote and if I look into what our Indian value and Indian culture has offered us, it is to find peace through negotiation. There will always be a path to avoid war. There will always be another option to choose for peace, to choose for world peace by coming to negotiations. And I think that is what we all stand by. And that is how we have, never started a war against any other country before. So I feel we have always tried to choose the common path where both our opponent as well as we can stand by and make peace with each other without all the bloodshed, without taking so many lives at stake, their families, and we know what it is about. We have seen so many wars, we have seen people invading us, and we are never the ones to start it. I think that is one beautiful and a very optimistic thing about our culture and how we as Indians see and believe in. So that was my take on the topic. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sakshi. You should be a diplomat at the Qin dynasty. You delivered the table topic session without answering my question. Was it the reason for us being ruled? Thank you for the wonderful speech and showing your diplomatic skills here at the table topic session. May I have another volunteer, please? The next topic is going to justify the other topics which we've spoken today. Anyone? How many would you like to go?
Toastmaster Ashwin raised his hand. I guess.
Ah, Dear Modi himself. Okay. In your honor, let me do this. War is actually an industry raking in huge profits, run by the evil politicians and corporate elites. Agree or disagree? War is actually an industry racking in huge profits, run by the evil politicians and corporate elites. Agree or disagree? Toastmaster Ashwin.
I completely agree with the statement. And to prove that why I agree with the statement, I'll take an example from the very theme itself. So, in the Queen's dynasty, there was once what do you call? Once a trader, yeah. So there was once a trader by the name of Vellore who was able to utilize this warring state period, and he was what he did was basically sell a lot of weapons, spears, swords, chariots, and even animals such as horse and so on. He was able to climb up in positions so fast that eventually, by the end of warring states period, he was the chancellor of Quinn, and eventually fought for the seat of the king of the dynasty of Quinn. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's easily, if you're smart enough, that is, to utilize this opportunity in a way that you can make money and make a point. It's all about building connections in such a crucial period. So war is such a crucial period where everyone's on their toes. The kingdom, the king, the ministers, the generals, everyone's on their toes, and they will take any help that's given. So as a trader, as a merchant, or as anyone who has a little bit political power, it's easily able to rise up in power and use this opportunity to gain some momentum. Yeah. Thank you. Now over to TTM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. You know what? You just defined United States of America. War is an industry on which the whole country has become the most powerful and the richest country in the world. Thank you for your speech. I have one last topic to sum it up all and give meaning to the entire table topic session. May I have another volunteer? Kriti?
Yeah, I'll give a try.
Thank you, Kriti. This one's for you. Humanity's actual war should be on hunger, poverty, and illiteracy. Do you agree? Humanity's actual war should be on hunger, poverty, and illiteracy. Do you agree?
I would like to take 30 seconds of buffer time. Yes, I would like to start. Timer, you may start. I totally agree that our hunger, like the hunger should be for the war should be for hunger, poverty, and illiteracy in especially in our country, India, because there's so and other if you see other countries also, because if you see people are more focused instead of diverting our focus on winning, having a potential, acquiring any potential power, money, or anything, we need to focus on people who are on the poverty state, like how people are suffering from the war, what are the end results, and how many people are in today's country. We need to increase the literacy of the people who are living in rural places and educate them. The hunger should and the hunger for the we should our concentration should be the overbuilding population of the country rather than focusing on the situations like to acquire power and to defeat a country or get any power from it. And that's it. I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kriti. Indeed, we've come, humanity has come a long, long way. We've fought many wars, sometimes inevitable, sometimes just for the profit of some evil men. But today, after 2 world wars, and the democracy is being in place after the colonial rule has come to an end, we are here. And today, we should wage war again. All the democracies of the world together against poverty, against hunger, against illiteracy. But the apathy is that we are far from that future. And with this, let me end today's table topic session. Thank you one and all for participating. Over to Toastmaster Ashwin.
That sure was a fun challenge prepared by our general bank team. Honing this ability is not only important for becoming a better speaker, but also helps you improve your communication in general. And I hope this session provided you an exercise that improves your skill as a speaker. But now we are entering the final segment of the session. The reports from the front lines are here. So without further ado, let me call upon General Wang Bang to provide us with the report. Over to you, Wang Bang.
Thank you, Wang Jun. To evaluate Lee Mew, let me call upon her evaluator, Heki, aka Saumi.
Am I audible and visible? If my internet's a bit unstable, so if I'm getting frozen, let me know. I'll kill my video and continue. Okay. Timer can start now. The bravest and healthiest thing to do is admit to yourself that you're not okay. Because once we identify ourselves that we're not, we'll start doing something about it. Toastmaster Inia, here are 3 things that I loved about your speech. Number 1, your brilliant way of storytelling. Anybody can incorporate a story in their speeches and start reciting it. But there were 3 instances where your story was a stellar. Number 1, where you had given us 2 situations you had narrated in a similar manner to help us know the difference why people find mental health as a stigma. Number 2, the shift of emotions in your speech. You started your speech with the popular hashtags and made us all laugh, but then drifted into a story that was tragic. That is what differentiates a good speech from a phenomenal speech. Number 3, the fact that you had taken an uncomfortable topic in front of an unfamiliar audience was brilliant and helped us also connect with the story that you'd given. So great job on doing that. Number 2, the use of hand gestures. When it comes to hand gestures, there are 3 different types. I'd like to categorize it. Number 1, the give, number 2, show, and then the chop. You would exhibited the give and show very well when you said don't, and come and seek help, which were exhibiting the show kind of hand gestures. So great job on doing that. Number 3, the usage of metaphors. You would use the metaphor that what would you do if 1,000 starfishes wash ashore, which was a call for action, as metaphors make the subject matter more relatable. And when you were giving it in front of an unfamiliar audience, it helped us persuade more. There are 2 places I'd like for you to improve. Number 3, using hand gestures a lot when it comes to making strong points. So in your future speeches, I'd like for you to cut down on points that you're making a lot. So, say, for example, if they were 10, you could cut down to 5. Number 2, the wise usage of intonation. Intonation is the fall and rise of the voice, and it helps us give us more information about how the speaker is feeling. For example, in the place where you were reciting the story that was tragic, I felt that the intonation was very high. Instead, it could have been low, exhibiting the emotions that you had while you saw your friend bleeding her wrists out. So to summarize, you had a brilliant story. You had effective usage of hand gestures, had persuasive metaphors, and a few places I'd like for you to work are limiting your hand gestures by making strong points and usage of intonations. And thank you for making a strong point that it's okay to not be okay and seek for help. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Heki. To evaluate Lord Shangshan, let me call upon Li Shin, aka Kriti.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Congratulations, Toastmaster Sakshi, for successfully completing your pathway, leadership and development. A big kudos to you. You made the panel discussion well organized and well moderated by the way you introduced the panelists with a broad smile of yours, which made them feel friendly as well as comfortable. When you said it is absolute delightful to have you all here and can't wait to have your opinion. This made the panelists more welcoming to keep their opinions out there. Fantastic start done. The flow of the panel discussion was so smooth as the panelists were intact on the topic rather than diverting from them. You made it possible by being attentive, giving comments respectively to their opinions. The transfer of one panelist to another was done so solidly. You did this when you said, we would like to hear from your viewpoint too. Good job done there. You had a very good clarity, command over language, and comfort level. You had a very good audience awareness as the chosen topic, effects of social media for the discussion, which creates interest among the audience and they are able to relate to it. We all know that we need to strive continuous improvement instead of perfection. I could find that you had your gestures being cut out of the camera. I understand it is an online platform. You could have just positioned the camera a little bit far. To put it in a nutshell, you had a very broad smile of yours, which made the panelists feel comfortable and friendly. The flow of the panel discussion was so smooth that they were intact on the topic rather than diverting from it. You had good clarity, command over language, and good comfort level. The only thing is your gestures were being cut out of the camera. I would like you to work on it. And overall, it was a very wonderful panel discussion held, which I enjoyed and attending it. Thank you. Over to the G.
Thank you, Lishan. I call upon the strategist of Quinn, Lord Shanpen, to present the report.
Thank you, Van Wing. And in this battle, everybody win. No, everybody win. All are qualified. I'm audible.
You're audible, please go ahead.
Anybody confirm me? I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
In this battle, everybody won the weights battle. And our first speaker, former speaker, Toastmaster Enia, Limu, are qualified with the seconds, with a minute, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Our speaker, Chakshi, Lord Chunshin, qualified, and evaluator Saumini Kiki and evaluator 2 Kriti all are qualified. Table topic masters all are qualified. Thank you. Over to the great general.
Thank you, Lord Changpin. I call upon the Chancellor of Quinn, Lord Changwen, to present the report.
Yeah. Thank you, General. So here I'm back with my blade. So firstly, I could say that I couldn't find anyone who are with more than 5 accounts. Well, I have people with less than 5 accounts. They are Toastmaster Inia, Toastmaster Saumini, Toastmaster Kriti, Toastmaster Shakshi, and Toastmaster Ashwin. And I found there is only one person with 0 accounts. Well, so the person is going to be Toastmaster Vijay Surana. Congrats for him. So in general, I would like to give some recommendations to avoid those R's and fillers. So if you are a prepared speaker or a role player, so where you will be already knowing the content on what to speak. So when you practice more on your script, you can avoid those fillers and R's. And if you're a table topic speaker, well, you cannot practice. But when you're so calm and when you reduce your nervousness, you'll be clear with your content and you can reduce some R's and fillers in your speech. So that's all for the recommendation, and over to the general.
Thank you, Lord Changwen. I call upon the legalist of Quinn, Li Shi, to present the report.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my report. I have got few new words. A ripple effect, the continuing and spreading results of an event or action. And second one, be done and dusted, which means be completely finished or ready. And liberation, the action of setting someone free for imprisonment, slavery, etc. And crucial, which means critical, especially in the success or failure of something. And the word used, metaphor, It's nothing but a figure of speech in which a word or a phrase is applied to an object or action to which is not literally applicable. And that's all. There is no that much grammatical error I found in this session. And moreover, it's a best session. Thank you all. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Lishi. Now moving on to my report. The meeting started at 4:32 today, which is very unusual because for the past 3-4 weeks, we've been starting our session on time at 4:30 or 4:29 some days. So I think we all should stick to our basics, that is starting the meeting at 4:30. So I request all the members to log in before 4:30 so that we can start on time. That is number one. Moving on to the SAA, Toastmaster Bharat, he had great energy, and as usual, he did not fail to surprise us. He came up with props and he started off the meeting on a good note. He stated all the mission and vision statement of Toastmasters, and he also stuck to the theme but did not reveal the whole theme. So great job on that. Next, let's move on to the tag team reports. Timer, Toastmaster Mahalakshmi. She explained her roles and responsibilities. The introduction was very much aligned to the theme. And towards the end, her report was also very crisp. So I do not have any much of recommendation to the timer. The only thing that I would say, which is not exactly a recommendation, is that please turn on your videos and also try to screen share the exact screen and not align. So there was one thing, it might be an internet issue, so I'm not saying it as a recommendation, but still this is one thing that I noticed is that if it's a green card, you can like go to the green card and then screen share, not go to the yellow or red, because it was giving a little panic to the speaker. So that is one thing that I noticed, but if that is something related to the internet, I am not going to blame, or the device, I'm not going to blame the timer. Second, let's move on to the R counter, Toastmaster Bharat. He explained the roles and responsibilities. The introduction was again aligned to the theme, and towards the end as well, he gave a very crisp report, and he also gave some recommendations, which I think all of the tag team can start doing. The recommendations is something that helps the newbie Toastmasters. And not just newbies, even the old Toastmasters, but that is something that motivates all of us. Not just saying this is right, this is wrong. They also say this is how you work towards it. So that was a very good thing. And I think all of us can start adopting to it. So that next, moving on to the grammarian, she again stated the word of the day and her roles and responsibilities. And towards the end, she gave the report, which she stated all the good usage of words. One recommendation that I have to our grammarian Toastmaster Sadhana is that just today she did not stick to the theme. So it might be due to various reasons, but when everyone is sticking to the theme, I request if in future also, please try to stick to the theme. At least just do a small role play with whatever role you're being assigned, so that even though it's not very elaborate, just a little of something, so that you don't stand out saying the only person who did not go along with the theme. So that is the only recommendation. Other than that, great job. So next, moving on to the evaluator, Toastmaster Saumini. The same way, her introduction was aligned with the theme. She stated the level, project, pathway, purpose of the purpose, and everything of the speaker. And towards the end, in her report, she stated the positives. She stated 3 positives, and then she explained about hand gestures and the names of the hand gestures, which we are not aware of. I think we can learn that from somebody. Somebody, if you are comfortable, please put that in the chat window so that all of us can learn what actually it is. We are not aware of it, so that is something that we can learn. And again, she gave 2 improvements to the speaker, and finally she summarized the whole report. So great job on that. I do not have any much of a recommendation. Moving on to the evaluator 2, Toastmaster Kriti. Again, Kriti's introduction was aligned to the theme. She stated the level, project, pathway, purpose, and purpose of the speaker. And the same way, while giving the report, she started off congratulating the speaker. She told how she invited the panelists because we were not aware of what actually happened there. So she gave a little bit of what actually happened there. So she did not simply say this was good, this was that. She told specifically where she stood out, because we had no idea what was going on there on that day. We only saw a 5-minute clip. So when she told she stood out in this area, she specifically told, so we were able to understand that this is the place that she stood out. And she also gave recommendations and summarized. So I do not have any much of a recommendation for Toastmaster Kriti. Next, moving on to our TTM. Today, our TTM's introduction was aligned to the theme. TTM's topics were aligned to the theme, and there wasn't much of error anywhere. He was completely into the theme. Usually, people just pop out and say what exactly TTM is, but even that he did it along with the theme, aligned with the theme. So, great job on that. And he also gave some remarks after each speaker, which was connecting to their speech. So that is again something that all of us can try to do, because we usually do, what we usually do is that thank you for the speech, that was a great speech. That's all that the TTMs usually do. But this is something that is very nice, so we can adapt that. And there's only one recommendation that I have, that today all the speakers and the guests are some people who already knew what table topic is. But I think in upcoming weeks, we'll be having new guests who will have no idea what this is. So the TTM can teach how to attempt so that they feel at ease and then come out. Like, how do you exactly attempt on the table topics? Like when the topic is given, you can say something like how you feel about it, an instant from your life, and then you can wrap it up. So if we give them a little idea of how to attempt it, they will be more open. But today it was not an error. I'm just telling this so that the upcoming TTMs, especially for the upcoming session, if we are having a milestone and we have a lot of guests, they'll feel more at ease. So that is the only recommendation for all the upcoming TTMs. Other than that, Table Topic Master Toastmaster Vijay did a great job. Next, moving on to the TT speakers. Today, we had 5 TT speakers. First, Toastmaster Inia, she spoke on the title. She answered the question, spoke on the title. She explained why and justified it. So that was a great way to attempt a table topics. The second speaker, Toastmaster Shrikant, he again answered the question, explained why he supported his speech by bringing in references from Mahabharata. So that is again another way to attempt the table topic speech. Third, we had Sakshi. Sakshi started off with a quote, which is again another way to attempt the table topic. She started off with a quote. She compared it how it actually relates to us in real life, and she supported the statement with real life incidents. Then coming to the next table topic speaker, Ashwin. He was already the table topic master, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day. So he was already aligned to the theme. And since the question was again aligned to the theme, he went very deep in and he stated more facts on the theme today. But he again answered the question, supported the question with all the incidents. And he tied it so that we were able to understand why he gave that answer and some details on the theme as well. So great job. And then we have Toastmaster Kriti. She took a 30 seconds buffer, which I think our guest today forgot that we had 30 seconds buffer, even though the table topic master mentioned about the 30 seconds buffer. And then she answered the question. She justified with real life examples. So that is again another way to attempt a table topic. So that is it with the table topic session. Finally, moving on to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin. It was a stellar show. We couldn't find any errors anywhere. And for everyone's information, this is Toastmaster Ashwin's first time playing table topic Toastmaster of the day. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ashwin. He worked so hard on the theme that he gave us such a such a historic show today. He worked on the theme so well, on the role players, assigned roles for the role players. And he did not just assign names, he briefed what each role player does, so that everyone today took effort to actually write a script, which was exactly aligned, because he gave in so much input that all of us also put equal effort and then wrote a script today. Usually we do not do it as much as we did it for today. So great job on that. I couldn't find any errors because the flow of the session as well was very smooth. So great job. I do not have any much of a recommendation. The only recommendation is that that's not for him, for generally, is that to turn on your videos whenever possible. That's it. That's it from my side. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you for that amazing report, General Wang Ban. Now we're going to move on to the final part of the session. We have successfully managed to conquer the states of Zhao and Chu. Now all that's left is to conquer the 4 small states, and that can be done in no time. Finally, after a long struggle, Quinn is only one small step away from complete unification of these lands. With this, it is certain that the era of warring states is coming to an end, and also marks the beginning of a new era where the people are not ruled by emperors but by law, so that no man is above the law. An era of peace, prosperity, and development for sure. Now it is time for me to personally ride out and make sure that no mistakes occur during the final few steps of our mission. Thus, I hand over the session to our Emperor, King Sang. Over to you, my lord.
Thank you, Wang Jian, my loyal commander, because of who the Qin Empire is standing victorious today. The long war has finally come to an end, and it is only right to honor the warriors who've been victorious today. Toastmaster Kriti, do we have the winners?
There are only 6 responses till now.
Okay, so I ask everyone to fill the Google forms. Where have you sent them?
In the chat. I'll send it again. Wait. Yeah, I'll send it again.
We can go ahead and announce the results if there are 9 responses.
Yeah, there are 10 now.
So the results are here. The best tag role player goes to any guesses?
Bharat.
Yeah, to Toastmaster Bharat, who played an impeccable law counter today. Congratulations, Toastmaster Bharat. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Kriti. Congratulations, Kriti. And the best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Shrikant. Congratulations. And the best speaker goes to Toastmaster India. Congratulations. And the best role player goes to none other than our table topics master, Toastmaster Vijay. Congratulations, everyone. Your empire is very, very proud of you. Can we have a few feedbacks from our guests? Toastmaster India, can you go first?
Yeah, so first, thank you for having me here. And I felt like the theme itself was very interesting, innovative, and informative more than all. Like I got to know a lot of things that I didn't know before. So yeah, it was very well handled. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Inya. Second, can we have a few words from Sakshi? I think it's your third time here. Thank you for coming back to VTC again.
So that's what I wanted to tell you all, that by this time I've given quite some of my speeches in VTC, and each time it's been more fun and the session quality has only gone up. So kudos to all of you for that. And thank you for having me today and making me feel welcomed every time. Kudos to the TOD for selecting such an interesting role, and good job by each and every one of you today. And all the best for your milestone session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sakshi.
And
Next.
also one, sorry, just a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I came here for another session before as a timer. I think it was during
The 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July. That time also I remember the concept was very informative.
Historical.
Yeah, I went back and told people in my club how VTC had very informative themes, and that's something that we can also try. So this time also it was very informative. Do you always have such informative themes, or is it I always used to come on days like that?
I think it's very coincidental.
Informative. I like it too.
I remember it very correctly because I was TMOD that day.
Yes.
And
yes.
We were before 4:30 and we were talking in Tamil, and you were like, and Dashni was like, stop, cheering. Yes.
Yeah, and then I said,
you pushed in and you were talking.
Yes. Tamil.
And Toastmaster Shrikant, can we have a few words from you?
First, let me summarize the entire meeting in one word: amazing. Youth power at its peak. I am totally speechless by the amount of enthusiasm that each one of you are having, the energy. I mean, all of you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm telling you, all of you are super talented and all of you have greatness within you. I just couldn't believe the way the roles were taken up and how well you have carried out. I'm not saying that others were not up to the part, but general evaluator and going through every word that was being spoken is something, I haven't seen that, to be very honest. So what I would say is all the 13 members who were there in today's meeting are very blessed and exemplarily talented. You have greatness within you. I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart. And I want you to take this greatness to the next level. And I want you to give back to the society which has made you what you are. Remember, the nation wants you, the world wants you. There is a lot of responsibility lying on your shoulder. Mark my words. And you are blessed to have the talent and the gift within you. Don't carry this talent to a party or to some other place and literally destroy the talent. Please take it to the place where you can serve others. This life is to serve. It's not for anything else. It is not to get, it is to serve. I bless you all from the bottom of my heart, and I want you to make your parents, your community, your school, college, wherever you are, to be proud of you and leave a legacy behind. I bless you all and wish you all the very best. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shrikant. We'll remember each and every word that you had said today, and you are too kind with your words. As we are nearing the end of the 99th session, the drum rolls are only getting louder and louder. So to everybody present here, I would like to unofficially invite you all to the 100th milestone session of VTC, which has come after a very long struggle. We will be sending out official invites soon. With that said, I ask you all to sit tight in anticipation as I officially close the last double-digit session, VTC 99. Over to the essay.
Thank you, President. And overall, it's an amazing session. Thank you, everyone, for the patience. And I believe we all must got some takeaways from the session. And I finally tell that session number 99 is closed. That's it.
Ashwin, you can